Welcome to beautiful North Carolina. Finally getting the Fantasy washed. You're welcome, buddy. Much better. Feel better there, Fantasy? Bet you do. Hello friends, welcome. I'm at the historic Gilford Courthouse today. It's a National Parks historic landmark. I've got my passport book with me and ready to get it stamped. I don't know anything about this place. You probably don't either. I've never heard of it. Let's go explore, find out what it's all about.
Hi there.
Hey.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Friends, this is the first time I'm relinquishing my rights to stamp myself. My new friend and park ranger, Abby, she's gonna stamp it for me. I'm gonna let her choose where.
Put it on? Oh, perfect.
Wherever you want. Find a location anywhere.
We'll do right up in this top corner then.
Perfect.
Ta-da! There we go.
Well, this is a really rad tour. They got this exhibit in here of the Revolutionary War. This is the first national park that was designated just because of the Revolutionary War history. And they got a great exhibit here. I like those glasses. Some items of the era. Forks, knives. An exhibit of some weaponry from the Revolutionary War. I really like Civil War history. You don't think about the Revolutionary War too much. It's just not a common museum subject, typically. This is very interesting. All the bullets and cannonballs. This is the battlefield tour. You can drive it, walk, bicycle. There's an audio tour that you can get on your cell phone, listen to the history of each of the locations. There's pull-offs and monuments where specific things happened during this battle, the Revolutionary War. All along the 2.5 mile pathway around the battlefield are these monuments, these several stops. And this one here is a pretty unique one. It's the largest that I've seen so far, to Peter Francisco and to General William Washington, it says. Remembering their valor during these battles was important. In the early 1900s, the US government did a lot to preserve this land and started to, at that time, we're starting to preserve many spots across the country. And as I said earlier, this was the first Revolutionary War battlefield that was preserved by our government. So it's an important place, and they placed these monuments places like this. This is actually not the exact spot that they thought this monument should have went. At the time, they believed a section of this battle happened right here. Later on, found out when new things came to light that it didn't actually happen here. It happened about a 1/4 mile towards the courthouse, which we'll see next. But it's still a very nice spot to remember some of those that have gone before us, and then also consider what it must have been like in these exact woods to be attacked, to be hunted by your brothers and sisters. Unbelievable. If you're looking for this on the National Parks Passport or on Google Maps, you'll type in Gilford Courthouse. Well, the Gilford Courthouse used to sit right here. Back in 1809, the community that it was a part of moved 6 miles south, and this became another community that just got erased. There's no sign of even where the courthouse or the 5 buildings, including a tavern, were. There's no sign of it anywhere. No one's been able to find out what it looked like or anything. However, we do know one thing, that this road was the main road that went through Gilford County. I can't remember the name of the community that it attached, but this was the main road. So if you wanted to know what it was like for the troops to walk through the woods and go to their battlefields, this is how they carried the cannons through to the different battlefields. This was the only way to get anywhere in this area. The rest was just thick woods like you've seen. So this part of the park, and this is stop number 6 on the tour, this is what I really wanted to see. I didn't know coming up here if there was an actual courthouse or what it was, but this is really fascinating. Now, one thing you cannot do here is metal detect. I don't have a metal detector, my nephew does. This would be a really cool place to metal detect, seeing that there was a tavern here in this community, and apparently there were about 50 residents, Scotch-Irish, which I am a descendant of. I really like walking around these parts of the world, these historical areas, and just feeling the energy and wondering what happened here. Clearly one of the bloodiest battles in the Revolutionary War, and one that if we hadn't have won this, we wouldn't have won the Revolutionary War, apparently. Abby told me that in the Welcome Center. So I'm learning a lot today, and it helps when you're, this is not something that, oh, I've always wanted to see the Gilford Courthouse. I didn't even know it existed. But when you're here and you're able to absorb the energy of the land and hear some stories, it does help you connect to history. I feel it. Land looks pretty level here. Maybe the courthouse was right here. Wonder where the saloon was. Did they have good beer? Just walking out here in the woods and saw all these rocks. I'm assuming that these belong to some kind of a foundation structure or something over time, but who knows? Back to the point of metal detecting, you could probably find some really cool stuff around here. I'm not sure what the coinage looked like or whatever, but I'm sure that you could find all kinds of things here. There was a major battle, amount of weaponry and things that soldiers would carry with them because everybody was on foot. There has to be stuff just scattered about all of this land. Pretty cool to think about. Here's something really cool for you plant lovers like myself. This tree was a seedling from the Liberty Oak tree from the Revolutionary War. I don't know anything about the Liberty Oak tree. It was planted in 1987. Pretty. The American Revolution began in 1775. The British, who were fighting mostly in the north part of the Union, started to move south into Virginia and North Carolina. In this part of North Carolina, the terrain was much different than what the British were used to, and was definitely part of their demise. And good for us, they only brought 2,500 troops to fight in this battle where we had 4,400. They lost a lot of troops, and they lost this battle, which was the reason that we were able to win against the British. Without this loss on their side, we very well could have been a British colony right now. Just 2.5 years after this battle at the Gilford Courthouse, the colonies won the American Revolution, defeating the British and holding on to the ideals that our founding fathers had that would later turn the United States of America into the greatest country on the planet of Earth. Thanks for joining me today, friends, at the Gilford Courthouse National Historic Site. This is a really interesting park. It's a great place to walk and bring a bike out here. You can drive around the trails, learn a lot of things. And they have a really nice shop there and an exhibit about the Revolutionary War and what happened here in Gilford. This is a very important place in the Revolutionary War, as we have learned. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it, friends. If you like what you're seeing, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. I have made it to Kernersville, North Carolina. I didn't know this place existed until today, but as I was looking up my next location on the National Parks Passport book, I also looked up a couple breweries in the area close by it, decided this was a good spot. And it turns out it is. It's a cool little downtown. It's very nice. Kernersville Brewing Company.
Your answers in, I'll score them up, I'll give you the answers, and then we'll go into round 4, our final round.